It's the $4.5 billion deal that secured Gillon McLachlan's legacy as AFL CEO and set up the health of the competition for generations. The broadcast deal signed in 2022 made sure the game was still available on free-to-air television, and on average in its duration, pocketed the league an extra $70 million per season. The truth is, the AFL even took a pay cut and rejected the mouth-watering 10-year, $6 billion deal from Paramount, which would have made all the games sealed tight behind a paywall. But as we are making our way through the first year of the new broadcast deal, a couple of things have popped up unexpectedly, and the AFL clubs are not just unhappy, but concerned about the direction of how people watch the game. Caroline Wilson detailed the issues and AFL response in her article in The Age. The Super Saturday KO promo, which we all know, has every AFL game on the sport's most traditional day behind a paywall, and it's the number one issue. The McLachlan announcement came at the start of the 2022 final series, but the deal did not kick in until he was long gone at the start of the 2025 season, nor did the hidden nasties, notably the fact that the AFL had chosen for the first time to charge its supporters to watch football on its most traditional day and to place every game on a Saturday behind a paywall. Now, for those who can afford the KO subscription, it's not a big deal. To watch every AFL game before, you did need to have KO or Foxtel anyway, but for those in more rural areas or who can't afford the subscription fee, it has been bad. It's estimated there has been a loss of nearly 500,000 eyeballs on Saturday night games, despite 100,000 people boost to that KO subscription. A lot of people are missing out. Not one non-Victorian club of the 6 contacted by this masthead is happy with the new deal. At least 4 are deeply concerned about the changes the new deal has forced upon the fixture and the loss of audiences on a Saturday. The truth is, the interstate clubs have every right to be disappointed when you look a little deeper. Many Victorians might not know this, but the exclusive rights to Saturday games really are exclusive. Even in the last broadcast deal, interstate games would still be shown live, even if they weren't scheduled nationwide on the free-to-air broadcaster in Channel 7. But believe it or not, football fans from South Australia and Western Australia had to wait until round 9 to watch their clubs live on 7. That's right, the first 2 months of the AFL season, the games on Saturday for say the Adelaide Crows and West Coast Eagles were shown with a 90-minute delay. That is criminal and just so wrong. But it's even worse for the sides in New South Wales and Queensland who had to wait until round 11 to get their games back live on free-to-air television on Saturdays. The biggest loser out of this new broadcast deal so far is the reigning premiers in Brisbane. Not a lot has gone right off the field, and it is hurting the club. Before round 12, the club has had just 2 games on primetime 7 slots, which is very low for a premier, and they have had a drop-off of audience, which Wilson notes has not been lost on their major sponsor and insurance company Yui. Obviously, Mother Nature has had an impact, ruining that opening round game against Geelong, which would have delivered big ratings as it was the first game of 2025. But for all the talk the AFL has done to boost numbers of participants, crowds, and overall viewership in the northern states, not having games live on TV until the midway point of the season doesn't make a lot of sense and isn't helping the cause. It's actually lucky Brisbane and the Gold Coast Suns specifically are playing well and might have deterred those with a KO subscription to not get it and therefore lead to even lower viewing numbers. But let's focus back on the Sydney Swans. Their numbers of late are alarming. The Age reported 2 weeks ago an estimated TV audience in the Sydney market of just 10,000 viewers watched the Swans' narrow loss to Essendon in the Saturday twilight game at Marvel Stadium. Just 10,000 people and the entire market tuned in. Again, the 90-minute delay is a big reason why. Had the game been shown on Channel 7 into Sydney Live, as it would have been last year, and not on a 90-minute delay, the audience would have sat between 60 and 90,000 in the Sydney market alone. Again, the game is shown live on Fox Footy, but I highly doubt in the Sydney market that enough Swans fans or football fans can make up for the 50 to 80,000 drop off in viewers that the broadcast would have had if it was live on 7. That data goes to show the impact the Saturday paywall is having in these non-traditional AFL areas. It's something that has definitely been hidden away from Victorians and those who can afford KO. The broadcast deal was supposed to secure the long-term health of the game, which it is no doubt financially, but the broader effect on the fans might be having the opposite effect, and that is a concern. But the AFL is still comfortable with the decision and growth points in certain ratings. AFL boss Dylan has combated the deep grievances around the decision to play Saturday football behind a paywall by arguing that Channel 7 telecasts the same number of games per week, 3, in this broadcast agreement as it did in the last. All finals remain free, and the view from head office is that this is the first year of a 7-year deal and that paying for football on a Saturday will become accepted over the broadcast journey. It is noteworthy that the ratings on Thursday night, a key time slot for the competition, are up 4% compared to 2024, and Friday night's ratings are slightly better, up by 1%. Pair that with big increases in live attendance on the Thursday and Friday night games, helped by the actual fixturing of big MCG matchups, and there is still green on the AFL's paper and enough to defend the Saturday paywall and delayed games for interstate fans for the first portion of the season. But does the green overtake the possible red of 500,000 fans missing out on live football on a Saturday? It's unlikely. The new deal has 6 years to run beyond 2025, and although club chiefs are not happy about some elements of the rights agreement, they agree little can be done to change it, given the sensitive nature of the media landscape and the realisation that such a lucrative deal could not be achieved now. When Gillon McLachlan signed off on the deal, he left saying these words: "We want the game to be for everyone," said McLachlan when he announced the deal, which was presented as one of his key parting priorities at the time. And this partnership will help us to do more to engage with all communities, in all states and territories, and across Indigenous and culturally diverse communities. Perhaps this is true, but on Saturdays not so much, and who knows the impact just one day could have in the interstate markets.